Hello, welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage. And in the last video, we were working on this panel right here. We got it installed. And we're ready to start laying out the wires on this bike. We're going to go over all the locations that these individual loom sets go. And then we'll be talking about the speedometer some in this video. So I think first up, we're going to talk about speedometer. Okay, installing a speedometer. So this is a 56 through 61 speedometer. And I've talked about this a few times, but I'm going to verify just a few things with everybody. But these speedometers, these Stewart & Warner speedometers were a two-piece designed face. Okay, they weren't a single face until later when they went to the 62 style. The earlier ones, like my 40 has and stuff, that was a single face as well. But this specific one from about 1948, yeah, 48 to this year. So, and the 48, this one, and all the ones through 1961 were like this. There were some different changes throughout the years, and I could probably go over that in this video here. But I'm looking through this stuff here. So this is a 48 through 52 speedometer. It's it's stepped. It's got two pieces. It has the lens with a black background sitting on top of the speedometer, just like you can see here. It's black with a clear lens. It's hard to get reproduction lenses because they say Harley Davidson on them and stuff, but you can, and people take these and take junk Chinese speedometers or Japan speedometers or whatever, and then they make them look like these. And you got to watch out for that. You got to know what you're looking for. Because see, there's the 62 style. It's a single piece. Looks like the tombstone look to it. That's a popular one too. Here's the 59 style. The colors changed from green to something else in 59. This FLF speedometer prototype here in this Palmer book. Now, I've read all this stuff through the speedometer stuff to verify things. There's codes on the back. They explain what it is. See, like mine says 509 FE. We talked about that in the last video a little bit. But I've come across a couple of people talking about how they have a rare speedometer and it's one piece. And Stewart & Warner never made anything like that. See, this also has the 61 and older speedometer cable. 62 and later look different. Threads are on the outside and instead of internal. And I think there's a picture of it here. Not exactly. Okay, well anyways, the threads are on the outside. Now, I got a picture of a fake that was on eBay. Guy was trying to sell it as a real one. This is a fake one. See how it's one piece? Does not look like this at all. And spouting off that it's OEM and stuff. The other funny thing about it is, oh, here's another one. This was another one too. The guy was trying to get it for buy now for like $14,000. Yeah, right. So you gotta watch what you're looking for when you buy this stuff. This is what the backs look like. This is not a Stewart Warner back because see how the threads are on the outside and the cable goes in? Looks totally different than this. This is a real one. That is a later one or reproduction. That, the other thing that tells that is the markings and stuff on it. Now, reproductions ones also have really close, similar parts on the trip and things. But then there's some that don't. Like, I think they have like the later style trip. So, yeah. So anyways, I'm just trying to clear that up because I just find it ridiculous and crazy that people try to scam people like this. And you got to really look what you look for. You got to know what you're looking for. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, definitely not a one piece like this. Yeah, it has some miles on it. Made it look old like it was used or whatever. But it's definitely not cool. Alright, so I'm going to put the light in now because it'll be kind of harder when it's installed. I added the X-ring to it just to make it to where it tighten up a little bit better in there, because these reproduction ones like this are kind of hard to get to stay stuck because of the tabs here. They're not quite right. And it's nice though, it's got the cloth looking wire and everything, and I heat streaked the end here so it didn't look all, so it would actually kind of like be better. And I put an LED light in it, so hopefully it lights up well. But it should just pop in and kind of stay. So, yeah, there it goes. And then now we'll just go mount it quick. It takes two proper mounting hardware. There's two round head slotted screws with lock washers and little hex nuts mount to the bracket. We'll go put that in real quick. So before we can install a speedometer, or before we should install a speedometer, we got the cable routed here. This is the cable housing coming off the transmission across here. We'll put the clips and stuff in the right spot, but it comes up through here and goes up through here, and then we mount our speedometer onto it, of course, right there. And I'm gonna put some lubricate in there. It's like a lithium grease, really good stuff. It's this kind of old bottle, but it's still good yet. Kind of hard to find that stuff because I don't think Lubrimatic is around anymore. And I think this is made by Lubrimatic, but anyways, it says right here, Lubricate Division, Fisk Brothers. Anyways, I don't think they make this anymore. But anyway, we have a bunch in this tube yet, and it might last a while for us. And we'll lube the cable, of course, and slide it down in so it's nice and good to go. And then we'll install the speedometer from there. Alright, so this is the speedometer I got from Smith's Works when I was at Davenport. It's got the correct crimp on it. It's round, just like my speedometer. They rebuilt it, Smith's Works did, and they did an excellent job of it. I mean, we talked about that before, but let's just talk about that again real quick. And I was just sending your stuff there to have him rebuild it. The information I gave that out on the Davenport swap meet video. Otherwise, smithsworks.com. Otherwise, yeah, let's get ready to put this in. With the lube in there, it's good to go. What I'm trying to say is this is square, so then you just kind of like slide it down and turn it until you can get it to fall down into the drive unit on the transmission. And once you do it, you just like, it's there. So now it's ready to accept the speedometer, and then we'll tighten it down. There, we got the speedometer installed here, and I think I might have misspoke when I was talking about that fake speedometer. It was $1,400. I think I said $14,000. But yeah, $1,485 is what this person was trying to sell this fake speedometer for. It's crazy. Just again, remember, look out for this kind of stuff. So the harness comes with one little wire. It's about 8 inches long or so, and it's black with a white tracer, and it goes here. This is our negative coming off the battery to the frame, making the frame grounded. So then it just gets a Phillips head type screw, about 5/8 long, and it has two external tooth locking washers, so it can dig into the paint and touch that metal and make a nice circuit. I've already tested this. I got it down nice and tight. I took an ohm meter and looked for resistance from here and on the motor, and it beeps. On the transmission, it beeps. On other parts of the frame, it beeps. So we're good. This will be a good starting point. So then we don't want the battery in yet because we don't want to get too carried away, but then we'll be working on the rest of the wiring coming out of going from there. Here's a real nice kit from Colony. This is the rear terminal box assembly. It's everything included to mount the terminal box and everything you need to mount the coil on any big twin from 48 to 69, because 48 to 55 took the small ones, and then the 55 and later took the larger ones. So I believe these are the larger ones. We'll find out for sure. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It comes with a special terminal thing, so it keeps it from grounding out on the metal part. Special part number. We'll go over that a little bit, and we'll work on assembling it. So I'll show you that in a little bit here too. All right, so this Colony kit's 8005-12, and it comes with these special stepped washers. I don't know if you can see it very well in this, but it's got like a little step in it. And it's this part number right here, 71098-38. And they go on the back side of this thing. So it isolates the screw coming through, so it doesn't like touch the metal part, like I was saying earlier. So then we just pop them in there like that. And then we put the washer down like so, and then the hex nut. Now it has these little internal tooth lock washers. You gotta be careful with that. It doesn't like engage into the metal when we start squeezing it down. So I might not run those actually. So yeah, it doesn't really show it so much. Yeah, like it shows the terminals for the dash base, and it's the same part that's built into this. Oh, here we go. There's the parts. So we have the screw coming through, lock washers on the other side. Then it's a 6128 flat washer. Then it's that special 71098-38. Then in our 6182, and then 7608, two nuts to lock the rings that come into this terminal and get tightened up. So we'll stack it just like that, and then I'll show you that in a minute here. And we'll do it to all five of these holes here. Okay, so we got the screw, internal tooth lock washer, like it shows. Then the flat washer. Then our special 71098-38 with the step going inward. So go towards the metal part. And we'll do that for all five of these, and then pop them in, and then so on. So so far, let's just drop one in here real quick. And once it's through, make sure it's engaging in that hole. It kind of is. There it kind of goes. It's fiber actually, it's not plastic either in this kit, which is kind of nice, because plastic can get smashed and this fiber doesn't get smashed so much, and it actually withstands and stays tight that way. So another flat washer, like it shows. I'm putting the sharp biting edge of the flat washer towards the cardboard piece here. There we go. And then the hex nut. And run that down. That'll lock then we'll set all the terminals up like this and tighten them up. And then the nut that locks the wires down, we will just leave them loose. I gotta build this first because this gets bolted to the frame behind these bolts. This is the -56, the 72341-56 came out this year in 56. So we use that 3/8 stud. This other one's the 72341-48, and it's a smaller stud that goes into the frame. And that goes all the way from like 48 when it was introduced all the way to 54. So that's the difference between a 54, 55. Oh yeah, it's 55 because in the 56 this one came out. And that's what's the difference between like the 54 and 55 and 56 frames. 54s were mostly wishbone, then they started having, in about mid-year they went to straight leg, and then in 56 they changed this part on it, and that's really mostly the only difference in the 56 frame. There we go, we have it. So now you can see that the isolators are there, keeping these terminals from being touched by metal. So now, like I had to build this first because now next we put these studs on. And this Colony kit, it's pretty nice, but it didn't have the washers that fit here, like it shows in the picture. A washer and a external tooth star washer that bites into the paint and then gets that metal on the frame and creates a connection here. I don't think it's totally necessary. I think they're just doing this to lock it, because this is all isolated anyway. So, but anyway, they didn't really provide the right size flat washer for the 56 style, or the correct locking star washer for the 56 style, because see, they don't fit on here. So anyway, probably use Loctite on this and just tighten it down like so, like it's supposed to on the bike. So then that's all together. Then the next part would be putting this cover over top it and covering all these up. And the wires come down through the top here and all line up into these. And you put this cover on over top, and then you put your coil on. So technically, we can't do this part yet until we have all the wires done. But anyway, we're running a 12-volt system. I got a 12-volt OEM cable, or OEM looking coil here. It does have the cadmium style nuts on top, but this is a 12-volt coil, and this is the correct style for this era. So that's nice. We'll be using that for sure. Anyway, let's get this part mounted to the bike. Here we got the rear terminal box installed, and this is what it looks like. I just put the hardware on here just so it stays together here and don't lose it over time. So what happens here is that cover goes over top of this, and then we slide the coil on and we tighten it down here with the star internal locking tooth lock washer here, and we tighten it down with these correct cadmium nuts, and they have the machined edge on them just like all the rest of the hardware. And yeah, this goes together pretty good. Well, I was putting this on, I noticed it up here on the old area where the terminals used to be at, pre-pan head. This is where they used to stack at. If you remember the 40, when we were working on that, we put the terminal pieces in there, and we put the wires here. And then later, in 1948, when this box got introduced, everything went to here, because all the new accessories that are coming out, they're more popular and common in this era of bike compared to the early 36 through 47 bikes. And technically, my friend could have painted the inside here. He did a really good job of cleaning this all up and everything, and sanding it and repainting it gloss black, because that's how these frames were. I mean, because that's how they were. But I did notice on this one over here, there's a little bit of some purple residue paint, remainder of the paint on here. This frame was, when I got this frame, it was painted purple, and it was just a common thing back then, because people would take their bikes and customize them, you know, just take all the paint off and paint it whatever color their bike, their bobber, their chopper that they're making. Luckily, this frame wasn't totally chopped. I just had to fix a few brackets here and there. But yeah, but there's the remnants of the original paint that this bike was painted before I got it. I mean, not the original black, but yeah, this. Anyways, it's kind of interesting. But anyways, I could probably get in there with some touch-up paint and fill that all in with some black, because this is not used in this bike, because they moved it down there. But they still use this casting piece all the way up until they went to the different frame change in 58. So, and well, you know, the 58 has a seat spring too. You know, maybe this is the same bracket then. I don't know for sure on the 58s and stuff. I mean, we got that 58 frame that we picked up at Davenport Swap Meet. I guess I could look at it, but offhand, but maybe I'll go do that here in a second, and we'll just see, whatever. But yeah, anyway, that's what's going on here. So now all the wires come to this box. We have all the front wires going up to that front terminal plate, and we have all the rear and mid wires coming into this plate here. So now we're ready to start like laying out the wires and talking about that. Yeah, so here's the 58 through 64 frame that we picked up at Davenport, and see, they did change this piece. They got rid of the parts where the terminals went on in the 57 and older frames, and they altered it and made this adaptation to it. This is for the external oil filter. Comes in there with an L-shaped bracket, comes up and gets held in with a hex nut. Now, in the 57 and older frames, they use one of those terminal holes to mount the bracket. So the bracket's different. It's got like an extra bend in it, so it stays more flat. And this one here is actually modified to where it doesn't. It just comes down with an L-shaped bracket. It doesn't have a fancy bend in it and stuff. So it's a different bracket. Maybe down the road when we work on this bike, we'll show you that. But yeah, we were able to get that adapter piece out of there without really tearing this all up too bad. Now we can put a new bushing inside here and everything when we get ready to work on this. So with this awesome wiring harness from CimarronCycleworks.com, it comes with, the paperwork comes with a nice breakdown page that has all the different wire groups and segments. So we're gonna kind of go over these, all of them, but I'm gonna just kind of do the two main focus ones right now. Will be the main runs, the front main, and then from the switch to the front fork terminal board, which is this one here, this 146-49A, and it tells you how to identify which one of the two, because both these wires, the main runs, have 4 different colors in it: yellow, green, black, and red. And of course the paperwork here explains which one's which. It says the black wire has 2 flag terminals. Okay, so this one has a black wire with 2 flag terminals, and this one has a black wire that has 2 flag terminals. Okay, so still don't know which one's which. The second one, the instrument panel or the switch going to the seat post terminal box, the rear box, is a 4-wire cable also, and it's the same color configuration. Its part number is 70160-48A, and it identifies it as black and yellow wires have 2 flag terminals. Okay, so this yellow one does not have 2 flags, but this one does. So this is our switch to rear. This is our switch to front. So let's go put the switch to front, route it where it needs to go, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we route the switch to the rear box. Okay, so usually when we put these wires on, these flag terminals stack on the panel piece. So this is going to be the front one. We're going to get these in the order. This would be the front. This would be going to the switch, because normally the switch has these kind of terminal ends and sometimes a flag, but this is notorious right here to be going to the switch. So this goes to the rear, to the switch, and this is going to be poking out in the front. This will be coming out through the dash base. So we're going to go set that up real quick. And the best part is this paperwork, this picture here that comes with the paperwork shows where we need to hook these all up to. And we'll hook them all up later, but we're going to run the main groups of wires in the position on the bike that we're needing them to be in. So the wire from the front to the switch looks like it's going past all this and it's coming to the back parts of the switch. So it'll go into the rear hole on the right, coming up through there. The 3 colored wires, the red, yellow, and green, will go to that. And it looks like our black is going to be going over to here. We'll figure out how they hook up later, but looks like this is going to be straightforward, so this will be kind of nice. And hopefully I can clear this up with a lot of people. And then our rear one's going to come up to the front hole on the dash base and then loop back through it goes between the tank mount and goes along the backbone there, and it's going to come off to the left side of the bike. I found reference pictures of a different bike, and that's how I'm going to route it. I'm going to route it just like that. So let's go do that quick. Okay, so here's how we route the looms. This is the front loom coming into this spot in the dash base. These 3 wires are going to be coming to the back here, and then our black one's going around somewhere else. We'll figure that out later, but then the rear main group of wires is coming into the front one here, and loops back across the backbone here, through here, and loops around to their side. I'll show you that in a second. I just have wire ties here holding it, kind of in place for right now. Originally, they would have been wrapped with that cloth tape and then into place. And then I got a picture of a 49. I believe it's 49. Yeah, and it shows that this loom comes through the middle of the tanks right here in the front, because you got a vision the tank's going to be right here, and it comes up like this and then loops up and then comes back down through a clip that goes in the neck right here. And I'll go over the clips here when we get ready to put them on, but this is how it kind of like lays like this in the front. And then of course these all hook up to this panel here. So here's the picture of the 49 showing that. So, and then we'll just set it just like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is probably original stuff, so I mean, we'll just set up just like that. And then let's go over to the other side real quick. Now there's a print that shows how to route the spark plug wires in the polymer book. And you can see in that print, I'm going to show you in a second, the back of the tank, which would be right about here, and it would come to a point about here. These wires come out, they kind of loop around the outside of the frame right here, kind of like smash into the loom smashes into the box here, and of course these all get hooked up to this panel somewhere. And the picture I'm talking about is this one in the polymer book, and so you can see the loom right there looping down. Shows the spark plug wires, how they get routed, and we're just going to copy that. So I mean, you can route any way you want. In fact, there's a nice big opening here too we can stuff it down into, and it comes right out into that spot where this is at too. But there's a little bit extra cable and stuff, so this has to go somewhere. So anyway, I'll look at some more pictures in the polymer book, but I'm pretty sure this is how it needs to be, according to this one and some other pictures on other bikes I've seen too. Alright, so we'll come back to the 4-wire cable that's going down the front leg here in a little bit, but let's just talk about some of these other ones here. The 3-wire cable, the headlamp dimmer wires. Dimmer to front fork terminal plate. 3 flag terminals are provided to connect the board to the board. The opposite ends are sweated into the dimmer switch block. So they're telling you need to repair your own. This comes with the switches, but they're telling you need to repair or change out your stuff. So of course I got the switches here. So all we'd have to do is put them on the handlebar, and that's the horn. And then the dimmer here, we got to put it through the handlebar and route them as well. So those are those. The horn button wire, same thing. I was just talking about that one. And then the bag that has the stuff in it is, of course, in the big bag, which just has the flag terminals and ring terminals as well. The 7144-54A 2-wire cable, red and white, green and white. That's saying that this one is switch to horn, number 6. This is your horn wire. So that is sitting here somewhere too. Yeah, right here. We can route that one. And we got 2 rings. Now we'll look at this picture here and find our horn. Here's our horn. We got our green coming over here to the black one that's coming out of the front loom. And then the red one is going to here. So, and then this end probably goes to the horn. So we have a nice one here that would be going to the switch. And it's going to somewhere with this other black one. It looks just, the black has a flag too. So it's going to be hooking up to something. We're going to find that out, because this paperwork will tell us what 46 is here on this list here. So this is great. I'm trying to clear this up as good as I can. This is going to be really easy compared to doing the 40. The 40 was a hard wiring system to set up. So I'm going to get all these wires routed first, and then we'll go over all the hookups. So hopefully we can do this nice and fluid-like, very nice and smooth. So that paperwork kind of showed the earlier horn, the 54, or actually the 53, the older horn. This has got the Jubilee bugle horn, the bugle horn, I should say, specify. And it mounts like right here. The big round thing mounts like right here. and then these wires hook up to it. So we want to have these two. Actually, I got this backwards. Looks like I wanted the other end. Okay, so I'm running this piece up through here. So I'm gonna take it out of here quick. Thought I had this right. Okay, so I want to flip it around. I want these two terminals to hook up to the horn. So I'm going to route it right next to this main wire here. This main wire here. I'm going to route there and come up through this opening right here underneath the speedometer. I think that would be about the best bet because I can't get any more in these things here. And I want to use this one for the wires going down to the generator and relay. All right, next on the list here is the tail lamp and brake lamp wire set. Got 3 different wires with it. 47 was the first year of when they changed the wire color over to green for the tail lamp, green and red. Because my 40 flathead, if you remember right, had black and red. So this is correct for this year era bike. And of course it has the real short section in it, which is like a jumper wire. We're going to probably work on figuring that out later. And then the long section that goes all the way through the bracket in the fender, which we'll be installing that at a later date because we can't hook this up yet because we have to route it to the fender yet. And of course, when you get this set, it comes with a little round piece and then the 2 terminal ends on it. You'd have to pop it in here, feed it through your original stuff. This is an original tail lamp piece. And we'll be going over all this assembly when we get to that point. But that's kind of where we're at on that one so far. So that's cool, huh? Anyway, the next one here we have on the list involves the stop lamp switch terminal piece. So this is 70331-48A. It's a 3-wire cable group, about 20.5 inches long, and red and white, black and white, green and white. And that's these 3. It's got 3 flags on one end, which comes out of the rear terminal box, goes down, and it loops across the bottom of the top of the transmission. This one goes off to the switch because there's that part that pops onto the switch. This is correct for this year because some of them had a round thing with a nut, but this is the correct type of switch for this year, 56. And these other ones go to the other part of the other switch part. So anyway, we can go ahead and lay them out. Okay, so of course this is your oil pressure switch one. Pressure switch hops onto that because this is the correct type that we're running on this 56, and it has this type of end. And this is the one that slides over top of it, right? Okay, and these other 2 are your pressure switch for your rear brake. So it's sending a signal when you push on the brake. And this is going to the box, stack off it. This is going up to the dash to tell us if we have oil pressure or not. So we'll be hooking up all that, like I said, later too. That's how that gets routed and sets. I think for now, we're just going to leave it like lay right here. So it'll be all right. Okay, now we're getting down to some single wires. So we got 70209-41 single wire, black and white, 6 inches long, battery to frame negative ground cable. Now in the beginning, I showed hooking that one up. It has 2 ring terminals on it because the other wires that come in this group that are all single black with white tracers, they don't have it set up like that. They have a ring on one end and a flag on the other. It's longer. It's like 10 inches long. That's the bottom one. And then this one here has a flag on one end and a ring on the other end. And it's about 6 inches long. So that's got to be this one here. So the shorter one here, this is going to be 70167-47. This is your switch to instrument panel, ring terminal, and flag terminal. That's ring terminal and flag terminal, like I was just saying. This is your switch to instrument panel. So this must go to, let's see where that goes. That's interesting. It must be one of these runs here where it's going from a switch to a stack post. Okay, so the stack posts, I didn't mention that yet, but a stack post like that on the dash panel are these. So we'll be tying some of these flags into these things. There's a couple of them. Here's one over here, one here. Oh, then there's one next to that. And then we're good. It's going to be real confusing after a while, but hopefully I'm clearing this up really well. I feel like I am. And the bottom one, 70182-48. Single wire. This is your seat post terminal box to coil. So this is going to be the one going from the box, terminal box, hooking up to the one side of the coil. Because the other one, the other part of the coil is getting a wire. It's probably going to be the one that hooks up to here. It's the wire coming out of the distributor. So that clears that up. That's going to be easy. So this kind of looks like a mess. They're not hooked up yet. This is how they all get routed. This is our taillights coming through. I'm just setting it here for now, for example. These two come down into here somewhere. They get turned into flag terminals and stacked onto here somewhere. Okay, this is the other part of the rear wire ones. This one stacks onto one of these. It's a hot wire. It's going to be this little short leg that's in this brake loom, or this brake wire loom here. It's actually the positive battery cable. Okay, so this one hooks into the battery here, and then the flag part comes down into this box, and that paperwork has nice numbers where they all need to go. This might have to slide and so it can actually extend longer, because they're movable like this. See that? They're able to be shortened up so they can actually go the whole length of the fender, because they're wrapped along the fender so they don't get caught on the tire. You know, in a nice little recessed area that's built into the fender. And then the only other wires we didn't really talk about were these wires for the lights to light up when these are going to be stacked on one of these also, because one of these is our generator light, one of them is our oil light. So we'll figure that out later when we start hooking up the wires. So we're going to actually probably, oh yeah, we got to run our wire going to the generator and the relay yet. So let's do that. So before we go ahead and hook up that wire, or set the wire in place that goes to the generator and relay, I'm going to talk about a couple things. All right, so we're going to be running a 2-brush generator in this engine. Even though, you know, in 56 it would have been a 3-brush. We're going to run a 2-brush because it's more reliable and puts out more power, more charging for the battery. And I'm going to also upgrade the relay. We're going to turn the relay into a regulator. So we're going to be running a V-tronic relay that looks like or a regulator that looks like a relay. And this is it. This is the instructions for that. So we'll be hooking this up later, coming up. But this is it. This is really nice. We had the same setup in the 40, and that works really well. It has been so far anyway. Charges, keeps really good stuff. To run these, you have to have a 2-brush generator, like it says right here in the instructions. First words here in this instructions. Instructions for installing a 6 or 12 volt regulator. This regulator is designed to be used with a 2-brush generator only. Okay, which we have. That's what I just talked about. And the nice thing is I'm going to run a lithium-ion battery also. And lithium-ion batteries require a regulator and not a relay to charge right. So, of course, we have that all set up right here. This is our H2 design Bates battery box, and I already have the lithium-ion battery all set up and everything in here. Now, I put a video out a while back installing or setting up a conversion of doing this kind of conversion, and check that out for more details and showing how I built this all up. But I just copied what I did to the 40 with this one, and it's actually got a little bit stronger battery just because I'm running a 12 volt system in this bike, unlike the 6 volt in the other one. So now I've got a bigger battery in this one. It's actually like different amount of amps and stuff, just because of the 12 volt system. And of course, we talked about the coil. It's a 12 volt coil. I think we talked about it anyway. It's got the cadmium caps on it. It's ready to go. You got to make sure all these are 12 volt. And of course, all your bulbs got to be 12 volt also when you do this kind of stuff. So, And I've done that already too. The headlamp has a 12-volt bulb in it, and so the spot lamps. So I guess we're ready to go put the wire in now and just let it sit there. And then we'll probably mount this later. Well, I'll go to describe that over there. Okay, so we're going to talk about the getting set up to put the wire coming down from the switch to the generator to the relay. But before we show you that one, I want to talk about a couple things here. We haven't put the push rods in yet, timed it yet, so there's a good chance that this is in the wrong spot. So getting carried away with putting a relay on and hooking it all up is not going to happen in this video quite yet. Probably a different video. Because there's a 99% chance this is in the wrong spot and we're going to have to move it. And to do that, we got to move this bracket out of the way. So let's go ahead and just look at the wire. And along with the spot lamps is probably going to be its own video too, because we have to kind of like make that work and route the wires in a certain way. And I think we want to have all of our wires all hooked up and stacked so we know where we're going to. So we'll work on that spot lamp stuff in a different video. But let's go ahead and go talk about this special -47 70244-47 cable, 47A cable, because in 56 they changed, or 55 they changed because the looms changed from a machine woven loom to this kind of loom in 56. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute here. So one of the last wires we need to talk about, the 70244-47A. This is the 4-wire cable, black and white, red and white, green and white. Now, it says it's a 4-wire cable, and you can look at it this way. It kind of is. You got separation here, and there's a shorter end here, and then there's 3 wires going all the way to here. I don't know where they're getting their 4th wire at right now, but that's just how it's written. So what's going on here? The long section, of course, goes from the generator to the switch, and this is the generator hookup, and then this is going to the relay. So we got these wires going to the relay, and then there's another wire coming off the relay also, and I think that's probably where they're getting their 4th wire they're talking about, but wire from relay to generator. So that is another one here, and that is the green with the white wire. So this is going back to the generator from the relay. These are going to the relay. This is coming back from the relay to the generator. And then there's another wire that's on the generator, which we'll hook up later when we do the regular relay system there. So and that's gonna be it comes with a wire on its own, but I don't know, I might change it up a little bit because I want it to look like one of these or something. But anyway, let's go ahead and lay this out here so we can see what it looks like on the bike. All right, so our 70244-47A, you can see right there, it's this bead loom right here. Coming up, it's the black one's going to one of them stack terminals on the dash base, and then the colored wires, the red and green, are going over to the switch here. And then we're going to be going over all the hookups here coming up in the next video. But yeah, see how on the generator there, you got one going to the relay and one going to the switch of the greens, and the other 2 jump across. That's what we'll do there. So we got the wire laid out here, and actually we got it sticking up right here. So those 2 can go to the back, and then that black one there with the flag terminal can go under one of these stack posts here. And then we're going to route it down along this leg here. A clip will hold it in place about approximately here somewhere, because the mouse trap's got to mount here also. But anyways, it comes down, shoots across the generator top here, like that. So that's kind of our layout. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed everything in this video, all the layouts of the wires, where they all lay at. And yeah, so be on the lookout for the next video coming. We're going to be doing all the hookups, going over each one of these. This is going to be a crazy video, but I just thought it'd be better to separate the 2 videos here, otherwise it'd be really long. So showing you the main runs of the wires and so on, and then coming back and then showing the hookup in a different segment. So that way you're not missing something by trying to watch the whole video. So anyway, hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll see you again soon.